mainly uh, Panchayat Samiti, and now we are discussing fifth chapter, that is rural administration, means how the by whom things are operated in basically rural areas. So we discussed some part like a, a a case of a village of Mohan and his native, and that is a dispute of land, and also we discussed a little bit of about how police stations uh, works in rural areas and what is the importance of a police station. So now we are going to discuss the work at the police station, how the works are operated, and how they provide service and a um, guard to our society. The work of police station. When they reached the police station, Mohan went to the person in a charge and told him what had happened. He also said that he wanted to give the complaint in writing. The SHO, station house officer, rudely brushed, him aside, saying that he couldn't be bothered to waste his time writing down minor complaints and then investigating them. Mohan showed him his injuries, but the SHO didn't believe him. Mohan was puzzled and didn't know what to do. He was not sure why his complaint was not being recorded. He went and called his night boss into the office. They argued strongly that Mohan had been beaten up in a front of them, and had they not rescued him, he he would give he would have been injured very seriously. They instead that the case be registered. Finally, the officer agreed. He asked Mohan to write down his complaint and also told the people that he would send a constable the next day of investigation the instead. So the above situation in the police station through a skit. Then talk about how you felt playing Mohan's role or that of the SHO or night boy. Could the SHO have handled the situation differently? It can be uh, handled in very different manners. Maintenance of land records. You saw that Mohan and Rahul were arguing um hurt, heatedly whether the common boundary of their field had been shifted. He isn't there there a way by which they could have settled his dispute in a peaceful manner? Are there records that show who won what land in the village? Let's find out how this is done. Measuring land and keeping land record is the main work of the patwari. The patwari is known as different name in different states. In some villages such as officers are called lokpal, and the others kanugaon or Karamchari or village officer etc. will refer to this officer a patwari. Each patwari is responsible for a group of village. The patwari maintains and updates the record of village. The map and the corresponding detail from the register on the next page are some part of records kept by patwari. The patwari usually has ways of measuring arcu- architectural fields, agri- agricultural fields. The patwari usually has ways of measuring agricultural fields. Some place a long chain is used. In the above instance, the patwari would have measured both Mohan's and Rahul's field and compared them with the measurement on a map. If they didn't match, then it would be clear that the boundary of the field has been changed. Yes, it is a common problem of villages then that the people always have lots of land disputes. So they decided their the boundary of land by himself, and most of villages you could have the hundreds of land disputes. Uh, find out the term used for patwari in your state. So patwari, lokpal we can say. If you live in a rural area, find out how many villages does the patwari of your area maintain land record of. How do people in a village contain him or her? The patwari is also responsible for organizing the collection of land revenue from the farms and providing information to the government about crops grown in this area. This is done from the records that are kept, and this is why isn't important for the patwari to regularly update these. Farmers may change the crops grown on their fields, or someone may dig a well somewhere. Hmm. So we will discuss now and keeping track of all these is the work of revenue department of the government. Senior people in this department supervise the patwari's work. All states in India are divided into districts for measurements related to lands. These districts are further subdivided into these subdivisions of district are known as different names such as tehsil, 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 taluka. At the head of this district collectors and under her and the revenue officer, also known as tehshildar. They have to hear disputes. They also supervise the work of patwari and ensure that records are properly kept and land revenue is collected. They make sure that the farmers can easily obtain a copy of their record. Students can obtain their caste certificate etc. The tehshildar's office is where land disputes are also heard. So, in the last chapter, there are some details that we should read it. Now, the cursory record of patwari gives you information regarding the map given below. It identifies which plot of land is owned by whom. Look at both the record and the map and answer the question given below regarding Mohan's and Rahul's land. Who won the land of uh, Mohan's field? South of Mohan's field. So where is Mohan's field? Mohan. Yeah. Mohan's. Where is Mohan's field? Hmm. I am unable to read this. This is the map and this is the record. So north, south. Mohan's field is where? Mark the common boundary between the Mohans and Rahul's land. Who can use field number 3? What information can you get from the field number 2 and field number 3? Field number 2, field number 3. Name of the owner, father or husband name, address. It is rented to some other farmers. No. Crop ground area. Owner Mohan and Rahul. Rahul number 2, Mohan 1. So 1 is here, Mohan M, Rahul here R, and 3. This is for what? Crop area, trees, ground. So I have understood the map very well now, and I can answer on the basis of that. Who won the land south of the Mohan's field? So Mohan is here, south. Rahul will won. Mark the common boundaries between Mohan and Rahul's land. Yeah. There is a small boundary here that you can see. This is the Mohan's field. This is the Rahul's field. Here is the common boundary between their fields. And who can use the field number 3? So here is the Mohan's field, here is the Rahul's field, and here is the field number 3, field number 1, field number 2, field number 3. So this field is basically, this is the grassland where mainly crops or grasses are grown and they itself grows. And here are some field, here is a well, and this area is totally empty. So this area can be used for the purpose of public park and any public places for societal use. What information can you get from field number 2 and field number 3? There are lots of information. First of all, here there is a mention. The lots of fields are mentioned. There are lots of things are mentioned about the all fields. like we can get information about crop grown, what is the area of these fields, and second crop grown, it means how much second crop are grown, and area not cultivated, hollow land. Mm. And facilities that were provided in those areas. So there are lots of things. Now we have to read. Farmers often required a copy of their lands record together with a map. As shown in the previous illustration, they have right to this information. They may have to pay a small fee for this. However, this information is not easily made available, and our farmers sometimes have to face many problems to get it. In some states, records are not being computerized and also kept at the panchayat office so that they are more easily available and regularly updated. When do you think farmers may require a copy of this record? Study the following situation and different identify the case in which this record would be necessary and why. A farmer wants to buy a plot of land from another. A farmer wants to sell her products to another. Hmm. Means we have to answer on the basis of why a copy of record of that land is required, and how it is beneficial or necessary, and why it is necessary to this flowing situation, which first situation is when a farmer want to buy a plot of land from another. So there is a not a um, defined area, means the real area that you are going to bought. How can you bought the land properly? You can, if you have the if the there is no map of land and there is no record of land, you can have different dispute related to that land. Mm. A farmer want to sell her product to another, sell product that is grown in that field. Mm. So it is also necessary, means sometimes uh, farmer sell their product uh, with a field. The whole farm is sold to any uh, seller or any merchant. So if you have not a actual record of that farm, you have not a actual uh, uh, um, detail of that farm, you can't don't deal with any seller or buyer in a proper manner. Hmm? Someone will say this land is 2 acre, you will say it is 2 acre. The buyer will say, Anna, it is less than 2 acre, it is 1.98 and 1.88 acres. So if you will have a record of that land, you can make your deal more easier, more convenient, more authentic, more reliable. So that's why the record is too much necessary, too much beneficial. A farmer wants a loan from the bank to dig a well in her land. So you want to dig you want to take a loan from the government to dig a well in his land. So if you have not a proper record of land, the proper location and the uh, map of land, how can you take loan from government? If you have not record and the people will don't keep their land record, then there are lots of mis cheating and mis uh, mm, missed loan can be taken from the uh, government on the name of well digging. So for showing himself, for you have need to keep a land record that can so that the government can rely you are a authentic guy, you are a really farmer, you have actually need of a well. Hmm. Otherwise people will go in the banks and will go to the government and they will say, I have need to some loans on the name of my 5 different land, and in all the 5 different land I have to dig 5 wells, but actually that person has no any land. So this can be a very huge type. This can um, help not having records in a big corruption situation. So now a farmer wants to purchase fertilizers for his field. Obviously, when you go to the shop to purchase fertilizers, you have need to the actual area of your land, and if you have not records of that land, you can don't purchase anything for your field and for your uh, grains in a proper manner. So you have need to keep the land record. The farmer wants to divide his property among his children. Oh, in that situation, and mainly in that situation, the mother situation is this situation. Mm, that's why we have need to keep the lands record. You can manage in fertilizers a little more, you can manage with the buyer and seller of product that you have grown in that field, uh, a little more and less. But the situation when comes the distribution of property among the childrens, that is the biggest dispute of uh, universe ever. Hmm. So that's we have need to have a proper record of lands. Let's talk a daughter's wish. Hmm. Here is a poem maybe, and there is poem daughter's wish करके. Fathers inherited our house from his father, and everyone says he will have he will leave it to brother. But what about me and my mother? Once more. My father inherited our house from his father, and everyone says he will leave it to brother. But what about me and my mother? To accept a share in my father's home is not every womanly, I am told, but I really want to a place of my own, not dowry from silk and gold. Mm. So, source differential of my family, Anjali Montesrio, TISS. Mm. So now we are going to discuss a new law, Hindus Section Amendment Act 2005. So let's see this act. Often when we think of farmers who own lands, we think of men, women are seen as people who work on the fields, but not as people who work on agricultural land. Till recently, in some state, Hindu women is not get a share in families' agricultural land. That's why that poem is given there. After after the death of father, his property was divided equally only among his sons. Recently, the law was changed. In a new law, sons, daughter, and their mother is Hindu families can get an equal share in the land. The same laws will apply to all states and union territory of the country. This law will benefit a large number of women. For example, Sudha is the eldest daughter of an agricultural family. She is married and lives in a neighboring village. After her father's death, Sudha often comes to help her mother with the farming work. Her mother has asked the patwari to transfer the land and enter her name along with the name of all the children in his record. Sudha's mother confidently organized the farming with the help of younger brother and sister. Similarly, Sudha also lives with the assurance that assurance that if she ever had a problem, she can always depend upon her share of land. Other public services a survey. This chapter has looked at some of administrative work of the government, especially for rural areas. The first example related to maintaining law and order, and the second to maintaining land records. In the first case, we examine the role of police and the second patwari. This work is supervised by other people in the department, such as the tehshildar or sup- superintendent of police (SP). We have also seen how people use these services and some of the problems that they face. These services have to be used and made to function according to the laws that have been formed for them. You have probably seen many other public services and facilities provided by various departments of the government. Do the following exercises for your village by visiting a nearby village or looking at your own area. List the public services in the village area such as milk society or the fair price shop, the bank, the police station, the agricultural society for seeds and fertilizers, the post office or sub post office, the Anganwadi, creche, government schools, health center, or government hospital, etc. Collect information on three public services and discuss with your teacher how improvement can be made in their functioning. On example has been worked out. So now we can see here public services, and fair price of health center and milk society. So these are the fields and the societies about which we have to keep details and discuss on those. And here are some fields and some questions on those we have to discuss. What did you notice about their works? Areas covered, how much they covered the areas. What do they need to do in order to use the facilities? Yes. And problems faced by those managing the service, problem faced by people, improvement that can be made. Hmm. So all these are the things that we can discuss, or we can analyze of these all the societies, like fair price soap ratio soap. The soap, what did you notice about the work? So there is an example given about the fair price soap. The soap was open. Three people came. They all had yellow card. They bought sugar and rice. Kerosene was not available. Occurs, always occurs this situation in a village man. Area covered. The soap covered two villages. Covers area. How much it covers area? The they need what do they need to do in the order to use the facility? They need a ration card. This has to be made at Tahsil office. Problems faced by those managing the service. There is no enough supply of kerosene. Problem faced by people. Rice is of very bad quality. We never get kerosene. Important that can be made. Improvements that can be made. Improve quality of rice. Make kerosene available. The fair price soap should be kept open every day. So that's a good point. And similarly, we can discuss and make a survey of health center. What did you notice about the healthcare? So we can say the healthcare is efficient in some basic type of treatment, but if we go for the variety of treatment and diversification of treatments, then we face too much uh, lack of resources, lack of treatment, lack of manpower there, and lack of civic sense, lack of uh, cleanliness. So these are the things. Area covered. A public uh, healthcare center can uh, cover almost 10 to 20 villages at a one time, if it is a even it is a normal health center. What do they need to do in the order to use the facility? So in order to use this facility, so first of all you have to be the local of that area, and you have to just take a coupon of a very minimal cost, and you can have the treatment in that public healthcare center. Problems faced by those managing the services. So yeah, lack of resources there too, and lack of a good treatment, a proper treatment. Problem faced by people, being treated as you can say uh, sometimes they are ignored, they are uh, uh, faced some personal rule that is not decided by the government for that hospital, but the rules that were decided by the staffs of that hospital or public health center. So that are the situation that people face in those area, like some places in a public hospital center or any public area and governmental office, always you have a better opportunity to take services there. You have a good connection, you have to need to a good connection with the member who they are present to provide services. Hmm. So network is a little bit advantage. Improvement can be made. Treat people like equally, provide a better health facilities there, and that's it. Questions. Mm, Questions are most important, subjective questions mainly. What is the work of police? What is the work? Maintaining laws in the your society and maintaining orders. Don't uh, uh, go to don't uh, use uh, the lack of don't have the lack of order in our society or disorder. So it is a big responsibility for police to make orders and have they have a responsibility provide the people and the natives of any area a fearless society, a fearless environment, a free environment. Mm. A, a environment without any anxiety, any pressure, any type of bondages. Listen to things, list to two things that the work of patwari includes. So patwari mainly provides you and it authenticizes your lands uh, on the internet or online, and also it provides you the physical copy of your land, a physical map and a physical copy of record of your land. So that is the two things that is uh, provided, or the things that is provided by patwari. What is the work of tehshildar? Hmm? Tehshildar is a almost similar concept. Maybe it is similar to lokpal. Lokpal is similar to patwari. If we talk about tehsildar, now I told you the uh, work of tehsildar on the place of um, lokpal and patwari. So patwari's work is measuring the lands and keeping lands record and maintains work of the patwari means measuring the lands of any area and keeping its record, having its record is the work of patwari. About we talk about to providing the services like first of all I have need to see this tehsildar. Hmm. You can say tahsil. Hmm. That's the point. Now we can discuss properly. So there are two words we have. First is patwari and second one is tehshildar. So patwari is the that person who keeps your land's record. He measures your lands, means how much your land and where is your land. It provides you the physical copy, the physical map, physical record of your land. That's the work of patwari and you can say lokpal. And if you talk about tehsildar, tehsildar is a for knowing the tehsildar, discussing about the tehsildar. What is the meaning tehsil? Tehsil is a small area in any district, a small covered area in district, and the person who owns that area, that is called tehsildar. And tehsildar um, mainly solve the dispute related to land in that area. So it manage the land disputes in any areas. So what issue is the poem trying to raise? Do you think this is an important issue and why? Yes, the poem we discussed in later, in which a daughter is asking for lands and the equal opportunity to have the property agricultural field in an equal amount from his father, uh, that is provided to his brothers. So I think this is a big problem of our society, and this should be solved by actually providing the equal right, the equal opportunity, not on only in the sense of providing lands and properties only, but it will mainly and uh, actually solve by having the equal opportunity in the education and the all other type of rights that will keep him free in our society. Hmm. Do you think this is an important issue and why? Yes, it is an important issue, and if you say why, suppose there are some children of parents, and mainly some boys and some girls. So boys were serving their parents or having the equal amount of advantages from their parents, but later on when the parents get older and they have need to some support of their children, at that time the boys were not uh, providing the support at that time, but daughters came to the uh, home of father and mother, and they serve them, they give a proper support to uh, having a good life. huh? But when they get died dead parents, the agricultural field are usually divided among the boys only, but the daughter that served his parents, they don't get anything. Hmm? Even they provided a huge effort and time for their parents, a huge investment of his energy and money, even they don't get anything, they don't uh, hmm, achieve anything from his parents. Even or in the other hand, the those boys who don't do anything, they get lots of land and properties. So this should be solved, and by making laws, and we discuss also that law. 20 2005 amendment related to lands. So next question, in what ways are the work of panchayat that you read about in the previous chapter and the work of patwari related to each other? Yes, the work of panchayat and the work of patwari so related to each other. You can't have a proper discussion, a proper um, uh, discussion in any panchayat without having the actual record that is provided by patwari or lokpal. So you should have a record, the actual copy and map of your land that is provided by patwari. On the basis of that, you can have a good conversation and you can easily solve your the land dispute even in panchayat sabha, in gram panchayat too. So that's the importance and the good relation between the gram panchayat and patwari. Visit a police station and find out the work that the police have to do to prevent crime. Find out the work police have to do prevent the crime, maintain law and order in the other area, especially during festivals, public meetings. Hmm. Visit the police station and find out the work that the police have to do to prevent crime and maintaining laws and order in the area, especially during the festivals public. Visit the police station and find out the works. So for this they provide some guards, some member of police that will go to the that specific event area, and they will maintain and they will says to people who they are celebrating their festivals, and they are having their meetings. So they are also suggested and said that you have to firstly know the laws that don't offend the other people, other uh, civilians, uh, by there should be no any uh, effect, a bad effect on the others due to your festival, due to your uh, meeting and any public event. So in this manner they handled that they work in any area. Who is in charge of all the police station in a district? Find out. In charge of all police station, maybe superintendent police. I will see this. How do women benefit under the new laws? In the new laws they can have the equal land from their father's property. In your neighborhood, are there women who own property? Why did they acquire it? Is there any woman who owned property from their father? In my case, till now I have not seen, but it should be. Get requirement for the uh, ladies mainly. So that's all from for today, and in the next chapter we will discuss a new and wonderful topic. We know about the rural administration, and now we were going to we will going to discuss uh, urban administration, means how the things operated in any uh, urban areas and cities areas. So next chapter we will going to discuss. That's